She's at home laughing at... Hello. What are you doing?
Sorry, I just needed to close the door. I needed to close the door because the cold was coming in.
Welcome to the Simply Together show.
Welcome to the Nut House.
It is the 13th of January and it is cold, it's wet, it's grey, it's winter. What do we expect?
Yeah.
It is what it is. We need to just get on with it. Put another jumper on, apparently, or turn the heating up, whatever you want to do.
Or hold a hot cup of coffee.
Oh my gosh, she's got a hoodie on. Flipping hell.
While we were chatting.
It must be cold. It must be cold because Shelley has got a hoodie on. Wow. I don't even think I've ever even seen her in a hoodie before.
Only when I'm out and about, yeah. Never normally in the house.
Out there, people. It's really cold. So, how is everybody doing? How are you doing, Shelley?
Better than I was at the weekend.
Okay.
Had first migraine in a very, very long time. So I was either headachy, like pain head, or asleep, or being sick, unfortunately. But no, we're migraine, my like hangover, as I call it. Think I'm back to normal.
Oh,
obviously, I'm feeling the cold a bit, so.
Bit cold, but you're back to normal.
Yeah.
Nikkei, how are you doing?
Oh, good, thank you. Not too bad. We are marching along with purpose and intent, and we're cold, as always.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be like March or April before I warm up, so. And no, it's actually all good, thank you, yeah. I'm looking forward to hearing what you all got to say. And how are you, Miss Cecile?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, I'm good. It's what are we now? Second week of January, just reflecting, looking at my work, what I'm going to be doing or what I'm not going to be doing. No decisions yet, but yes, it's all good. It's all good. It's a bit chilly. But yeah, it's all good. So we are the guests today. We are the special people. We're going to have a 10-minute only conversation.
I'm going to put my timer on. Should I put my timer on?
About the Orange Man, President Trump. Trumpety Trump. That's a song, isn't it?
My content's going to go down the pan again.
Nearly,
Trump.
That's nearly the elephant, isn't it? That's nearly the elephant. Yeah. So we're going to have a 10-minute conversation about Mr. Trump. And then we're going to go on to talk about Blue Monday. So the reason for the conversation about that man there is because yesterday morning I was watching Good Morning Britain, and we've been looking to see where it was, and it was at 11 minutes past 7 in the morning, right? It's first thing in the morning, and they were talking about the protests that are going on in Iran, and this lady was shot in the back of the head. And obviously he's then on his aeroplane talking about it all. And he said these words, which they've literally just stuck with me. Because he said that there have been some people who have been killed who shouldn't have been killed. And then he carried on talking. And I just thought, so that means that there are people that should be killed. Why should there be anybody being killed? Why can they not go and use their fists? Would be good. A one-on-one fist fight would be good, but ultimately that's not going to happen. Why are people not negotiating? Why are they not talking to each other? Why is he able to say that there are people who shouldn't have been killed. Surely nobody should be killed. It's just been in my head. It's been stuck in my head, and we've had to find it. And now we're going to just put that out there just for 7 minutes only.
To suffer like she's suffering. That's what it is.
Yes, I do. I do. Well, do you know what it is? It's that, and I know, and I honestly, I do know the man is an absolute, the man is an idiot. He says all sorts of things. Because whilst I've been searching for that, I then was looking at the video that he made about Greenland and how he wants to acquire Greenland. And the only defense that the people in Greenland have is 2 dog sleds. 2 dog sleds. Seriously. The man is he's just rude. But anyway, it's just been stuck in my head with, how can he say that stuff? How can he?
He doesn't care. He does not care. He has switched off all sense of proper, and I use the words very lightly, but he's switched off all sense of proper filtration, because he is the type of person who does not belong in polite society. So yeah, he doesn't care.
Like society.
To him, it's a means to an end. All his supporters will absolutely buy into it. So, quite often we say, buffoon is this, is that, blah, 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 blah. But, yeah, it kind of reminds me of Richard Pryor in Superman 3 a little bit, because who's advising him? Like you said, who's letting him say all these things? And it's not one thing. It's time and time again.
Yeah.
We've had other people in the past who have made, gaffes and things like that, but it's a one-off.
We had our own
he does
buffoon,
it all the time. Sorry?
We had our own buffoon.
Yeah.
During COVID, with his own hair going on there. But he didn't say things like this.
Well, no, because he had no intention of doing the things that this one is doing. This is what I'm saying. It's common. It pains me. I don't want to use the words clever and cunning in the same sentence or in the same vicinity as that person. But when you think about the nature of what they're saying and the nature of the things that they are doing, because they have done them now, they've done what they've done in Venezuela and nobody has said anything. So obviously he thinks that gives him license now to look on the one that he said before. Obviously what's gone on in the Middle East has gone on, etc. And that he's not getting any repercussions at the moment. So
it all comes down to how Americans feel that America is, because there's a lot of sport events in America where they say that it's the World Series, but it's just Americans that are doing it. They will play the national anthem at every event that they can possibly think of, and it doesn't have the same meaning as us. That at the beginning of a sport, like a football match or whatever, and you have your national anthem. So say, for instance, like the rugby, there's nothing like being in a rugby stadium, especially with the Welsh, when their national anthem's on, and the feeling that you get, the vibration that you get. But Americans have got it here, there and everywhere. They're doing it at the beginning of school, end of school, or whatever.
It's indoctrination.
Yeah, and it
is. It's indoctrination.
You don't actually, whenever they sing the national anthem as well, everyone can do all this kind of high notes and whatever else. And it's like, you're not performing, you are feeling a song, but you're not. And it just feels like they feel like they are the centre of everything.
They are. They do.
They come across as that. I mean, for like Greenland, where Trump then says that they've only got like this small amount of defences, they don't need it. Why do they need it? So they concentrate on their own people. And the fact that he then says, it's against this, that, and the other, they're covered by NATO. They know that they are within that group of comfort when it comes to anything military related. They're part of a European country that runs them, and they've been fine. They've got no reason to, other than the minerals that are in their soil. What Trump is wanting is that, not the country, not the people.
Oh, 100%.
And he's doing it with Venezuela. He will do it with everywhere. He will do it with everywhere else. And what he's finding out when he's done all these kind of, we're going to tax this, we're going to tax that, that for stuff that's then coming in, no, you can't do that because you're using those minerals from somewhere else and you can't produce it in your own country. So where he was saying about mobile phones, where he was saying about all these other bits and pieces, he's hurting his own people. They just don't
Yeah, but
believe.
he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Because if he cared, he would not have a government full of millionaires and stuff like that. He would have generally.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about Trump just before we came on air because I've been looking out trying to find where this thing was, and I said he does do a lot of these announcements with the press pack that he's got that's fully vetted,
like the Royal Rota. Yeah.
So he will know that he can have that conversation with just those people, and they will be quite polite because they still need to be part of that press pack of actually then asking questions and getting this thing out. And that's where he then makes all those odd comments quite often. But even when you're having meetings, any other president, when they come into the White House and in the Oval Office, don't get me started on all the gold gilding in the old Oval Office now. But
no, because you've only got 5 minutes left.
5 minutes, yeah. He will have all of his advisors around him. It's like you're going into like a big, like it's his business meetings. All of his business meetings would have been like that. You're going into the conference room with everyone. You're not a president meeting a president and a few advisors around you. No, you're going into all of his buddies. I could say something else, but it's just buddies that he's got around him that are supposedly meant to be helping him. Because they're all running behind and licking his bum. Oh yes, yeah, could do this. He has an odd kind of thought about how he's going to do something, and everyone goes, "Oh yes, we can do this." Then he opens the mouth. One last thing, it's got nothing to do with Trump, but it explains how Trump's like. My in-laws come from South Africa. My sister-in-law is like she grew up in Joburg and then came over here and went back over. Their president, if he mentions something stupid out of like sort of anything like Trump's doing now, he has been known to mention something stupid and the price, the rand will just go like that. No one believes in South Africa. The money just goes because he's said something stupid in sort of like a meeting or everything else. Of course, that doesn't then show up for Trump. Everything else.
Yeah, that's a bit like Gerald Ratner.
Yeah.
Remember Ratner's?
Yes.
That's what happened, and he got wiped off. But you know what? It's funny that you should say that because I saw a post, ironically, this morning. This guy was explaining certain things about what happened in the lead up to World War II. And it is that thing again where they did things and they got away with it. Then they did it again and then they got away with it. And then until eventually it was like, oh. But what this guy then went on to say that in this case, you don't need any weapons because obviously you've already alluded to the fact that if they do this, they're not going to be able to use it anyway. Their dollar will be pretty useless. But a lot of the allies, a lot of the NATO people that hold US Treasury bonds, if they were to dump it, I mean, I don't know. I know how bonds work and stuff like that, but politically speaking, I don't know if they would actually do that. But you don't. What he's saying is that you do not have to fire any weapon or anything there to really thwart the idea, especially like if it came to Greenland, because obviously if it comes to Greenland, it's kind of getting nearer, isn't it? And it just goes to show that the guy, I mean, gosh, I think our politicians don't care about us, but this one is just really taking the mickey. And it's really on the world stage, which makes it worse because then you can see.
I think it is like what Nikkei said right in the beginning. I am sharing this because I want everybody else to have that in their head because I've had it in my head. But I don't, politics is not my thing. It never has been, and I'm not gonna say anything otherwise. It's not my thing. It was just, I was there and I heard that. And I just thought, that is just so wrong. That is just so wrong. What you said is just wrong.
What is really sad about it, because obviously, I know you kind of glared at me with the evil eye when I said this before, but in reference to the fact that some people had said when those two young boys, may they rest in peace, died in Nigeria, when they went with Anthony Joshua, obviously people will be grateful for life, and they're saying, oh, you know, thank God Anthony has been spared, this and that. And this other guy pushed back and said, well, what are you saying? That did the devil come for the other two? And they're not the same thing, but they are, in terms of, because you can't just say because somebody was saved, therefore the other people were not deserving of it. It just so happened that they didn't happen. But I think because we're talking about that person, that horrible person, it's very hard for us to see it in the same light. And so you're almost thinking, you want to get in their head. I said, well, if he's saying that that person didn't die, who did he want to die? Because it is singular, it is in his mind. Because I think normal people will be grateful for life spared, but they're not necessarily saying that the life that was lost deserved to be lost. But you can't rule that out with him. You see, that's the problem. I think that is...
And you're right, because actually, as you'd said earlier, and also as we've said previously, two things can be right at the same time. However, like you just said, with him, who knows what he actually means? Because when he says these things and we think, oh God, you know, it's a bit of a gaffe and he shouldn't have said that, he might have been saying that because actually that's how he feels. So
but it might be planting the seed for something else.
Who knows? Who knows? He is a law unto himself, and he's had just over 10 minutes and he's not having any more. That's him done. So if you've got anything anybody wants to share on Mr. Orange Man, then you can do that. That's fine. But
if my next Instagram post bombs, Cecile, I'm going to blame you.
Again?
I said, if my next Instagram post bombs, I'm going to blame you. Because Louise has warned us about.
See, now I've been searching with my phone, haven't I? So that means that I'm going to get, oh, Lord. Lord, now I'm going to be really pissed off.
Sorry, did I not say that when I was searching, I was using sort of like a secret? Yeah.
No, what's a secret? Secret what? What do you mean a secret?
Like a VPN.
So on my,
have you got a VPN?
Yeah, no. Where I've got Google, you then go into search something as incognito.
But I thought that was only for other people using your phone. I thought it was only for other people using your phone to not see your browsing history.
Okay,
but
so
it doesn't save it, so it then doesn't show up when I'm searching in normal Google. What I've searched is incognito.
Right. Okay. So Shelley Titmus, that's unfair that you didn't tell me.
But you did have a little bit of a clue when you thought it was on that other undesirable channel. What did I come back and say?
It's blocked. Yeah.
I've been working. I only just saw them just before we came on.
We're looking pink.
But also,
we're looking pretty in pink.
What I would also then say is, Louise Clark, if you are listening, I know you're really, really poorly at the minute. If you are listening, why haven't you told us about incognito? And we can go into Google and we can do that without actually having this now coming up on our phone. I didn't know that. Anyway, I do now. So that's enough of him. What we're gonna talk, and I do feel better now that I've shared it.
Now that you've dumped it out into the world.
Can I tell you, all the listeners, you have been very, very bristly since you've read it, since you saw it.
Because it was just wrong and it was in my head and it was 7 o'clock in the morning. It's just like, seriously, come on. Anyway.
That is why we do not listen to the news at 7 o'clock in the morning.
I only put that on at 7 in the morning so I could hear the Anglian news before I then start my day.
Yeah.
My sister was like that. When she was around on Sunday, she's like, let's put the television. I'm like, no television, because then we'll be there.
I do. I switch it off.
Yeah, but listen, the reason why she wanted the television, she said, we got to listen. There might be an announcement telling us we can't go out.
No, I just listen to it because I just want to hear what's on in our region, and then I switch it off. And because GMTV, you just don't know whether it's going to be at 5 past, 10 past, or quarter past. So I had to just put it on. But I didn't put it on this morning because I didn't want to hear.
If it makes you tick, Cecile.
I feel good now. I'm fine. So what we want to talk about now is Blue Monday. I don't know if anybody has heard of Blue Monday.
Yeah.
So Blue Monday is supposed to be the Monday in January where a lot of people really struggle, feel really low. It's about 5 weeks since you've been paid. You're still looking at your bank account thinking, when am I going to get some money? That all of those people that make those New Year's resolutions and then by day 2 they've stopped doing them and then they start feeling really bad about it. All of those things and more come in on Blue Monday, which is this Monday coming. It's all about people's mental health. You've come from Christmas, which may have been fantastic, and then you go down low, or Christmas has been awful and you're still feeling that same way. We're supposed to be wonderful, isn't it? We've had a lovely Christmas and New Year, and it's January and it's fantastic. No, not everybody feels like that. Not everybody feels like that. So it's about looking after your mental health. Ladies?
It's also, if you've had a house full of people all the way through that season, whatever you want to call it, and you've had decorations up and everything else, everything's bright and sparkly, and now you're kind of back to normal. The season's changed, because winter definitely does start like now. It's darker mornings, darker evenings. Statistically, it's also the time of year. I don't know whether they put an actual date on it, but it's the time of year where everyone, if you're thinking about divorces and stuff, it's kind of now, because whether it's been the push that it's the final breaking point because you've been together throughout Christmas and you can't cope anymore, or whether I'm just going to get through Christmas for the kids, that kind of a thing. And it is. Even if you are happy in things, there's going to be things that are just going to knock you slightly, that you're feeling colder. So your body's colder, your brain's colder.
Everything's colder.
Hibernate. Yeah. You want to hibernate. And all of that then changes, like your mental health and stuff. I'm quite lucky in as much as I do like being outdoors. But even then, to wrap up warm, I'm fine with. To go wrap up warm and being to the way the weather is today, that it's a bit rainy, it's not as fun. And if it's something that I do to clear my mind constantly, then it's something that's pushing on that as well. I love a crisp, cold morning to go for a walk. You've wrapped up warm and you've gone out. Yeah.
There's always one, isn't there? Always one.
But having said that, at Taekwondo the other day, I was partnered with a young girl. When I say young girl, like, I think, if I remember correctly, she's about 10 or 11 years old. And she was saying how she likes the snow. You say you like the snow to me. I'm like, are you okay? and then I felt bad. I found myself explaining, about not liking the cold and it being pretty. She said, yeah, because I just get confused. I don't understand why people do not like the snow. I think it's really nice and warming. And I think, to me, that kind of just sums it up, isn't it? In the sense that if, like, we're saying that things are dark and cold and dreary, it's almost like one man's meat is another man's poison, because it is that thing. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a good one. And I have to say, Shelley, I'm a little bit jealous of you for that reason because, we know, if I didn't know before, at least for the last 5 to 6 years, we've had it drummed into our head. Go outside, ground yourself with nature. And the very idea of going out in the cold, I mean, I'm thinking of going for a walk this evening, and I'm thinking to myself, So, yeah, it is that thing. But you know what? Going back to Christmas, I was going to ask you, do you think it's because Christmas can be a bit like a highlight reel, where you put on your best manners, you put on your Sunday best, you put on your best behavior, and if you can't really just relax and be yourself, it's kind of an effort, right?
Yeah. Because for some people, Christmas, or even if you don't celebrate Christmas, but you have some of that time off then, because actually a lot of people have time off and things like that. It's you're supposed to enjoy yourself, apparently. If you're going around to somebody's house and that, you're supposed to be going there because you want to go there and you want to enjoy yourself. But some people don't necessarily feel like that. If you have just spent your every last penny and more just to buy presents, that may not leave you feeling in a good headspace at all. But yet you've got to go and enjoy yourself because that's what we're told. It's a joyous time.
Yeah. You saying about presents, can I just say that if you feel like you weren't thanked enough, it's a very valid thought and feel it. Don't necessarily need to say it, but if you think that you received a present like over Christmas that you didn't quite say, oh, thank you, real thank you for, because you don't know what someone's gone through to think about a present for you, whether that be what money they've got to spend on it, or whether they've actually then had to really sit down and think, what on earth am I going to get her? Or what on earth am I going to get him? That kind of a thing. Sometimes people just get their presents now because they're so used to buying each other's presents and whatever. They were kind of like, oh, great, thanks. Or they don't even say thank you.
So how does that balance out then? How does it balance out for me saying, oh, Cecile, thank you for my present, and actually genuinely meaning it? Because, that is a tough one. Because if I gave you a present, right, I'm giving you that present because I want, and I know I'm only speaking for myself, so please don't get me twisted. And like, for example, if I happen to hand the present to you directly, the chances are you're going to say, oh, thank you. If you now decide to then text me and say, oh, Nikki, thank you very much for my, to me, that's a bonus. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy it. I'm like, oh, that's nice. They really liked it. But it's the balance, isn't it? Because then obviously, like you said, that person who might feel that the thank you is not enough is valid, but that person that also believes that they've said thank you, their feeling is valid. And then where do you balance it off before it becomes a conflict?
It's just having that thought of how is everyone feeling about, because I've got people that I don't buy presents for. Perhaps I should, but we don't, because it just then turns into, I've just bought you a present for my best mate for Christmas.
But how do you?
Nothing, no big jewelry, nothing else. No big jewelry, no nothing. It's a little Care Bear Tamagotchi.
Oh, are they still around?
Yeah, he's sleeping at the minute, but he's having a nap because he was up early this morning getting fed and washed and everything else. But I feel more in it like about that because she's gone round, she's done the shopping. I know the boys would have seen it. I know she would have been out with the boys, seen it and gone, that's for Auntie Shell. I don't need a big, huge present or anything else. I've always bought that because that's something that you actually need, you actually want. And I've said to people sort of, if you want to wait until the new year, we'll go shopping in the sales and get exactly what you want. I don't mind that because I've bought for a reason. But it just feels very weird this year. Some people with presents and stuff, and I've noticed a few people posting on Facebook and things. And have we still got into that thing of buying a present just because they've bought you a present. You know what I mean? Like you've
I think
picked
that
up.
still exists for
Yeah.
some people.
I think it does exist on some level.
Yeah. I must
And
admit,
that will then adds into this whole kind of getting yourself into a debt, getting yourself blue because you haven't felt things have kind of gone right. And yeah, sometimes you're more reflective of things that have happened.
Yeah.
You didn't want to say anything then because we're in the middle of a party or we're in the middle of the season and everyone's nice. And you've had this time of going back into work and everyone's reflective. As you said at the beginning, Cecile, like what you are going to do, what you're not going to do for your jobs going through this year. People buy new houses because they sit there and like, actually, is now not quite working here now. Can we think about moving? Obviously divorcing. And it's the whole reflective thing. And I think going back to me doing my walking, I get more reflective when I'm walking because I'm looking at other things that are kind of going on. And that is a kind of a mindfulness in as much as I could be walking along looking at the different birds that we've got out there. There's different bird song this time of year because of the migrating birds and also the way that the trees and stuff they're feeding differently, for instance. So I'm picking up all of this and I'm then not thinking about all the stuff that I should be doing or should be worrying about. But then will then suddenly think of something. Whether that is, so-and-so, very much from my brain, it's like so-and-so happened 3 weeks ago. Hang on a minute. I didn't actually mention because of something. Something's bugged me. Hasn't bugged me, but I realise it is still bugging me. Or it could be random things like when we're watching Traitors and it was that Amanda that was on the screen, I kept looking at her going, I know you from somewhere. I know you from somewhere. Where do I know you from? I'm doing something completely different, completely random time of the day. I suddenly then realised she was a copper. She was on that Brighton night shift copper TV series. She was one of the coppers in that. So it shows you the mindfulness and thinking about other things this time of year could also sort of become part of all the Blue Monday thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know that I wasn't on my phone as much over the Christmas and then directly after Christmas, I went to my brother's. When I come back last week, I remember thinking to myself, did I even send anybody messages to say thank you for the presents that I got? I couldn't remember whether I'd done that.
Yeah. You did.
Yeah, but that might have just been you. I don't know if I did it to everybody.
Well, you would think that your brain would go, oh yeah, I've got to do that. So you go through everything. But then
I
is...
tend to do that when if somebody's
as they've given you right, okay.
Yeah, because we do our Christmas later in the day. We don't have our dinner till like 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. So other people who have already been up and eaten and all this, they will have sent a message, and normally I do it then. But I actually thought last week, did I actually thank people? And then you start thinking, well, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But they know I'm thankful anyway.
Yeah.
But do they? Or do they actually need to hear that because of whatever they're going through? It all becomes a whole big thing, doesn't it?
I mean, that's one of the things that I've got written down on my phone about, because we've said about what we were going to talk about and stuff today. One of the things that I always say, and especially at this time, if you're going through the motions of something and you'll always do things a certain way, and then you second guess yourself, I've been tending to do things to try and not get in the monotony of doing things. Yeah. Like, for instance, if I'm walking to the shop, I'll walk to the shop a slightly different way. If I'm walking the dog, so I got myself into and I don't know why I realised it, but if we go to certain parks, we'll always walk one way round. And I'm like, why have I got into that as a thing? And then am I automatically just doing that because I'm on autopilot?
Probably.
I'm going to miss something if I'm in autopilot. So we walk a different way. Slightly, the dog looks at me as if to say, "What the hell are you doing?" And when you get out of the car and go, "No, we're not going that way." Okay. It's like, but yeah, you find yourself in some kind of routine and stuff. So, Cecile, you're more likely have done something like that, like saying thanks and stuff. But because you're in an automated pilot kind of situation,
yeah,
you're thinking about it.
Well, if any of my friends are listening or watching, if I didn't say thank you very much for my present, my friends and family, thank you very much, because I can't remember whether I've even said anything. But there you go. I've said it now.
It is that thing, though, isn't it? Also, with the like you said, where because you weren't on your phone much during those days, so then again it becomes different, and then it just makes me wonder if because we have these mobile phones and we are connected 24/7, that are we expecting a different level of thank you?
Possibly.
And I think that's it, though, isn't it? I think that's the whole thing leading up to Blue Monday is these expectations. Because where you said, Shelley, about people looking at their bank account, they haven't got money, it is cold. And if there's the type of person who have cleaned up their bank account for presents, and I'm just going to use this as an example, and it's not an invitation to tell me to buy a new car, Cecile, okay? Right? But say, for example, they're driving an old banger, and it's wet and dreary right now, and then something happens, and they spent all the money on Christmas cards, and then on the middle of the day of the 19th of January this year, their car blows out, and of course they need the car for work. So it's also it's the practicality of that did not happen to me actually. My car's actually running a treat.
Well, no, because the 19th hasn't happened yet, has it? It was only on the 13th.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just warning you.
I know you are. So for those who are watching, because we've got a few people watching, there's a whole little thing going on between me and Nico about cars. I think you can guess that, can't you? That's why she's already forewarning me that this is not.
But I'm just thinking to myself about Blue Monday, because the other thing again is that who actually decided that Blue Monday? I can understand us like with the reasons why we think that might happen. But who decided that Monday is that day? Because, it's the same thing. We've got days for everything. We've got Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You name it, we've got it. We've even got a candy
If you look at that Wikipedia link, it explains it. There's a British psychologist that said it. And it's where the weather of the light exposure, debt, time since Christmas, failed quit attempts, so like your New Year resolutions, motivational levels, and need to take action. That's where the whole calculation kind of comes from.
They will have done a lot of research and questionnaires and things like that. So if you contact, for example, one of the things that when I was doing my training and stuff like that, when you're looking at days like this, they will have done a poll through all of the surgeries, or a specific area, for example, to see what it is that people are saying on particular days. And then they will then see that on that Monday, there's a lot of people who will have either gone to the GP saying they're feeling really low, or they've gone to Citizens Advice, for example, because they are in debt and they don't know what to do. So they will have done some of those things. And that's how they then get to that conclusion that actually on that day, that is one of those days that people really don't feel good about themselves or good about their lives.
Because on that Wikipedia page as well, it does say about the happiest day. And
which is what day?
Well, it was a press release that was done by Wall's Ice Cream that says about the happiest day. And it's all dates in June. And if you think about that being like for us in the northern hemisphere, that's midsummer.
Yeah. It's the lightest.
Yeah.
It's when it is the lightest and stuff like that.
And it's also illness. I mean, like this time of year, because you're in and out of a warm house, odd weather, you're getting the colds and the flus and everything else. Whether it is that you've come across anyone that's got that, but you're getting all those kind of things as well. I mean, for it being Blue Monday, I have to say that the Samaritans have actually calling it a brew Monday.
Yeah,
So
I've seen
you can
that.
have
I've
a
seen that.
coffee morning, tea morning for people to get together and have a catch up. So you could actually reach out to someone anytime, but it's always like with these kind of like named days, it's always giving you information, but it's also giving you a reason to do something, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. But one of the things you can do is ask your friends, ask your family, ask your neighbour, how are you feeling? How are you doing? How are things for you? Are you okay? Do you need anything? You know, you can always reach out that way and ask those questions, because that's the thing, you see. And it's again that what we've talked about many times. Ask the question once, ask the question again.
Yeah.
Quite often you can see in somebody's face when they say to you, "Oh, I'm fine," their face is telling you something different. Ask the question again. Or for you, if you are feeling low, you're not feeling very good, you want somebody to talk to, there's many places out there. Go and talk to your friend. Say to one of your friends, "I'm not feeling that good at the minute." You know, have that conversation. It's not an easy conversation, but you could try and do that. Where's she going? Where are you going with this, Nico?
Nothing. I was just going to join in along the same thing and say that I saw a man. I can't remember his name. I can picture him. He's a very popular man. One of these has built businesses and sold them on. And he was exactly what you're saying. He said he met one of his friends for lunch, and then they happened to mention that they were feeling really poorly the week before. And he's like, "Well, why didn't you reach out to me?" And he said, "Well, I did."
Yeah.
And then, of course, then he's all panicked and he's looking through his phone, and she had reached out to him, but all she has said to him is, "What are you doing?"
Right.
And so I think he'd responded to that. But I think what she wanted, that was her instigation, probably for him to call her or to go and see her. And so now they've got a code word. But it is that thing there where you say about asking the next question. And it's for you guys, I learned that one.
Yeah.
You're going to ask the next question. You lot don't ask the next question, I'm good.
Because the thing is that, so she's reached out by saying, "What are you doing?" And she's then expecting either "I'm doing this" or "I'm doing that" or whatever. And how are you doing? What are you doing? And maybe they didn't follow that through with
I think he just said he was doing something, and so then she just left it. So it's that written version of autopilot, you see.
Yeah.
It is.
We know who our people are. We know who our people are. I know who my ones are. I know who I could message and say, "I'm not doing good at the minute." I know who they are. Some people don't have that, but there are places that you can reach out to. But also, you may not realise that actually those friends that you think haven't got time for you, they may have time for you. You know, it's not easy. I know it's not easy to reach out, but it's worth it. It is worth it.
It is. Yeah, it's something that I've learned through sort of like the suicide training and stuff that I've had. There's a thing called a safe plan. Now, I know they do that for people with mental health problems, and it's something that you sit down and you actually do a safety plan that when I'm in this particular frame of mind, I get an urge or whatever, that it's what can I do? So it's like you telling yourself what you need to do when your mind is not actually with it. But you could actually do that with your own health, even if you're perfectly fine now. That I know with my mental health, and it's all to do with sort of like my women's cycles and stuff. I've got things that are in place that for when I start to feel that way. So I know that there's particular foods that will make me feel better. Particular things that I then say to people and say, "Look, I'm now starting to feel rough." So they kind of get a pre-warning rather than me being in the middle of not being particularly well, and suddenly getting inside like what's going on kind of thing. But that safety plan, if you look, I mean, if you Google it, it comes up for all sorts of different things that you can do. But if you ever think like you're going to be like that, I mean, like between me and my best mate, we know that we're messaging backwards, forwards all the time. But if either of us ever feel like there is something up and you need to snap them out of it, it's like an oi. Like there's no fluffy words. There's no how you feeling? Are you all right? Do you need me? It's kind of like oi. And that is enough that it then says, I'm concerned, you've not replied, or you've been really quiet, or something's happened. You need to message me back, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and it is that planning.
Yeah, because the two of you've got that, you know what to do, you've decided how to do it. That's your safety plan with your bestie. That actually that's all you need to do is just say oi. And then the other person is going to be aware. I do a lot of work with safety plans with clients and such like. But a safety plan can be as simple as the text message saying oi. It can be as simple as, should we go and get a cup of coffee? You know, it doesn't have to be big and elaborate and we'll do this and we'll do that. Sometimes it can just be very, very simple. But I think it's because we're wrapping up now. It's about reaching out, or it's about realizing that your bestie hasn't messaged you in a week, where they normally message you a few times a week, or somebody who messages you every day about whatever general chit chat, and then you haven't heard from them for a couple of days. You reach out to them and just check in and see how they are. You know, if you send a message and it takes days for them to answer, and that's not their normal pattern, then you then message again and just see. Sometimes people just need to know that you're there, because it's a difficult time.
And if they can't see it themselves, I mean, you can actually then say, look, I'm being a pain because of what I've seen, what I've heard, what I've felt. It then sometimes then gives them, the person that you're trying to get into, trying to contact, oh, actually, I thought I was okay, but obviously I'm not okay. I'm just dealing with this and carrying on, but other people are seeing it.
We are still, and it's the royal we are still dealing and working with people who are spending over and above for children, for families, whatever it is, just to get through Christmas. And then you come to January. I looked at my bank account yesterday and thought to myself, for God's sake, when is payday? Payday for me is not till the 31st. Right? So I'm way off of payday. 31st, way off of payday. Last day of the month. It's like, seriously, come on now.
Are you a government worker? That reminds me, when I was a civil servant, Jesus Christ, did I hate May and October? Jesus.
It's you know, so, and I haven't spent every single penny I had on family and friends. I pretended I have, but I haven't. But I haven't anyway. But I haven't. But I still look at my bank account and think, how am I going to get to the end of the month? Now, if you've spent all your money and borrowed and everything, and you've got another 6 weeks before you get paid, for some people that's just awful, and that just really, really pulls them right down.
And it's
just have a
also
chat.
It could then go into the February as well, because you've got all your bills will come out to the January. So you get some respite, but you then think, right, okay, the little I've got left, I then need to get through January. So it's building all that back up again.
A lot of people that have spent everything, it goes into January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Then they're starting to think about the next Christmas colour, and it's just that cycle that goes on.
Can we?
There's help out there.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we suggest something proactive to prevent Blue Monday next year? Or is that a whole new show?
I don't think you can ever get rid of Blue Monday itself, because
Well,
like
no, you can't.
I'm feeling,
That's a whole
but
new
to
show,
help-
because we've only got
help you,
a couple of minutes.
The reason why I asked that question, because I think to myself, for all the people that may be affected
So what
by
we'll
Blue
do then?
no, sorry, listen. What I was going to say, there'll be some people who will feel a little bit more fed up that day, who are probably borderline, who is like what, I don't want to say it's opportunity, because nobody takes an opportunity to be depressed, but it's just like little misses, for example, because you're obviously going to have a lot of people. I was just thinking, actually, as you were saying it there, Miss, I don't get paid until the last working day of the month. That feeling,
31st of January.
you can have many. You're gonna have those little feelings on every third week of each month. If it's
I do.
Just what I mean. But yeah, anyway, maybe it isn't a whole new show, but I just think it would be useful, because we've talked about the issues and it would be nice for us to say, okay, so this is the problem. These are some suggested alleviations.
So what we'll do
check me
then
out with my more than 2 syllables words.
Check you out. So what we'll do then next Tuesday, which is obviously after Blue Monday, but it's literally just the one day after, we will have a look at some ideas as to what people could do, and to just lift that mood a little bit. And it's not going to be about, well, you need to not spend all of your money in December, because actually people already know that. They already know that. And quite often they're doing it for a reason. They're doing it for a reason, because
spending it all because they get paid early, when really they don't want to get paid early.
There is that as well. So it's not going to be about, well, you need to do this and you need to do that, because actually people know that. We'll just have a look at different things that they can.
That's why I use that word alleviate, as opposed to not get caught in it. There was a method to my madness, my friend.
Alleviate. So just a quick let you know, tonight is Real Talk Show. Starts at 7, should finish by 10ish. And Dee is going to be on there, Shelley will be on there, and they have got some really good guests coming on. That's this evening. Okay, we will be back next week. Hopefully it'll be nice and lovely and sunny. Doubt it.
Dream.
We can dream. We'll be back next week, same time, and we will see you then.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.